It's time for a bookshelf tour! Yay! Let's jump right in! Metaphorically. I shouldn't jump because I live in an upper story apartment. Okay, we'll start with the mostly empty shelf. I use a hard drive as a bookend because I don't have real bookends. This is my shelf of nonfiction. We start with some astrology books that aren't really serious because astrology isn't really serious. A couple of random nonfiction books, and then we get into the writing craft. I think it's important to study different formats of storytelling. So I have a couple of screenplay books. This is about screenplay, but you know, the principles of storytelling still stay true regardless of the medium. Then I have a little handful of foreign language books, Korean and Japanese. Don't ask me to speak these languages because I can't. I mean, I can't aside from like really basic stuff. I really like language, English and foreign languages. I'm probably going to change my major again to linguistics because language and communication, it's all just so fascinating. This is my nonfiction shelf, and these are the only books on this bookcase. We have some CDs, but people don't use CDs anymore, so that doesn't matter. We have a sign that I obtained through completely legal matters, but I'm not going to get into that. And then we have some shoes. Yeah, shoes. Oh, and here we have some instruments I can't play, an instrument I used to be able to play, and an instrument I can kind of currently play, but not really. Now we get to the first full shelf. And these 1, 2, 3 shelves, another box as a bookend since I don't have real bookends. These 3 shelves are all contemporary novels, and they are sorted in alphabetical order by author down the line. So let's take a closer look. Should I talk about these books? Should I play music? I don't really know what to do here. Mostly young adult books. A couple of adult books down here at the end. Then down here I have my John Green collection. I have a green John Green signature in The Fault in Our Stars. And then I also have the audiobook here. More books, all contemporary. A lot of these I have not read yet, but I should. Down here I have Stephanie Perkins books, Anna and the French Kiss, Lola and the Boy Next Door, and these ones are both also signed. Anna and the French Kiss, and Lola and the Boy Next Door. For these shelves, all the paperbacks and hardcovers are mixed together, but later on I separate them a little bit. So that is my contemporary section. Next we have kind of the historical section. Historical fantasy maybe? We start with some Libba Bray books, Cassandra Clare, a couple other historical fantasy type books, Scott Westerfeld. And then over here, Jane Austen, Great Gatsby, To Kill a Mockingbird, Catcher in the Rye, you know, all the ones that you study in school. Most of my books are young adult, but there are a few grown-up books thrown in there. Now, this is where my organizational process gets a little bit strange. I don't have these shelves organized like all in one big section like the contemporary books are. 3 shelves, all contemporary, alphabetical order, good stuff, right? Easy to understand. Now that we're in the fantasy books, I have kind of a weird way to keep them organized. Let me explain it. The top shelf is mostly paperbacks. There are a couple of hardcovers, like these 2 right here, but that's just because I wanted to keep all of Lisa McMahon's books together. James Patterson, The Lightning Thief, more Scott Westerfeld books. I have a lot of books by him. Anyways, this top shelf is paperback, young adult, fantasy. A couple of hardcovers thrown in there just to keep the authors together. Next, we have the shelf of completed young adult fantasy trilogies that are set in a world completely unlike ours, which is really specific, but it's a full shelf, so I guess it works. I have the White Cat series by Holly Black, which I love a lot, but I dislike that my covers do not match. Beautiful cover, but they do not match, and that makes me very sad. I have the Graceling Fire Bitter Blue little collection there. Hunger Games, matched and crossed. There's a empty spot right here for the third book that comes out next month. Then I have the Shade, Shift, and Shine series by Jerry Smith Reddy. Again, this book does not match these ones, which is very upsetting to me. And then over here, oh, I lied when I said this was completed trilogies. These ones aren't completed at all. The third one comes out next year, third one comes out next year, third one comes out next year. So they will be completed relatively soon, but this series is going to have a different cover for the third book. It's like they're trying to piss me off. Not really. Now this shelf is more young adult fantasy series, but these ones are not quite completed yet. Or some of them are completed. But these ones are also set mostly in our real world. They're like more paranormal books than fantasy books. These ones up here are completely different worlds. The White Cat series, magic is real and everyone knows about it. Graceling, Fire, and Bitter Blue set in a completely different world. Hunger Games, I assume you guys know that one. More dystopian novels, dystopian-ish, dystopian-ish, dystopian-ish. But this one is more, you know, set in our real world, aside from these two books right here, which are set in a different world. But those actually aren't really series books, they're companion novels. Then I have The Body Finder and sequel, Beautiful Creatures and sequel. There are more books of the series out that I still need to obtain. Unearthly and Hollowed. I have the Hex Hall series. I think the fourth one of that is coming out next spring. Shiver, Linger Forever. This one is a completed trilogy here. Then I have a couple more books by Maggie Stiefvater. The Scorpio Races, and this one that just came out, The Raven Boys. Next we have Daughter of Smoke and Bone, and a little space here because the next book comes out in like 10 days or something like that. And then the Paranormalcy series, Supernaturally and Endlessly. This next shelf is kind of cool because it is the only shelf in which all the books are the same height. I know from my camera angle it kind of appeared that many of my books were all the same height, which is not true. These books will stand out. A couple books here will stand out. These books are not the same height. None of these other books are the same height. Down here, nope. Down here, nope. Every single book is the same height. It's a miracle. So these books are mostly the first book in a series, and I don't have the second one. There might be a couple standalones in here, but I'm not quite sure because I haven't actually read all of these books. I do have all of my Lauren Oliver books down here just because I wanted to keep them together. Here's another series where the covers don't match. And then I have my little collection of Jackson Pierce books. I know Fathomless is out, also with a cover that does not match these two, so I will be getting that one shortly as well. Down here I have some random crappy books, mostly school stuff. And then on this side I have a couple of little like journal type notebooks, drawing, ukulele, guitar, and some comic books, Foxtrot, Paperback Fantasy Book Part 2. These are mostly standalones, I think. Yeah, this one looks like it's series or at least sequels, whereas this one is mostly standalones. A couple of adult books in the middle there. Fight Club and The Time Traveler's Wife. Then we will go to this shelf down here, which is mostly standalones. More Leba Bray books, which are standalones. This one is the first in a series, but I haven't gotten the sequel yet. I actually am not sure if it's out. It might be. Also the first in a series, but I have not gotten the sequel yet. Also the first in a series, but I have not gotten the sequel yet. Most of them are standalones. Some of them are, again, the first in a series that I haven't gotten yet. Here's a random arc up here, sequel to that book. And then down here, these are books that I'm pretty sure most people will recognize. Twilight, New Moon is missing. I actually loaned Twilight and New Moon to a friend about 3-4 years ago, and I haven't talked to her in that time, so probably not getting those books back. Why I have another Twilight book when I loaned one to her is because for Christmas, the year that I think Eclipse was in theaters, 2010 maybe it was, My mom bought me Twilight because she knows I like to write, and she knows it was a popular book, so she decided to get it for me. Thanks, Mom! I already have the entire series, but good intentions, right? And then I have my lovely collection of Harry Potter books. All of my Harry Potter books are first American editions. That is why they look so beat up, and a couple of them are missing their book jackets. They're all first editions, except for that paperback there, and that's because I lost the hardcover and I replaced it with the paperback because I'm cheap. Golden Compass, The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings. Now down to my most random shelf. Little vampire section, aside from, you know, a little fairy section, a little zombie section, and then I have some books that are kind of middle grade type books, middle grade boy books mostly. And then I have a little collection of ARCs in the back there that I've won from like contests or traded with other readers. And finally, for the last shelf, I have some cookbooks. I like this one a lot more than this one. My collection of money. This is my retirement fund, so any day now I'll be able to retire. Buffy books. Buffy's my girl. A Buffy role-playing game book, which I've never actually played. I got that as a gift, and no one really wants to play a Buffy role-play tabletop game, so never really used that. But Dungeons and Dragons, I play quite a bit actually with my friends. If you know anything about Dungeons and Dragons, you might recognize these as 4.0 books, but my friends and I usually play 3.5, though lately we've switched to Pathfinder, which is like a slightly different version of Dungeons and Dragons. Then I have a couple of high school yearbooks. High school cat! How embarrassing. Alright, so those were my lovely bookshelves. I hope you enjoyed my tour of them. And yeah, beautiful books everywhere. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry if it was a little bit lame. But I've never done a bookshelf tour before, so I'm not really sure how to do one. From this angle, it kind of looks like they're all about to fall. I wouldn't be surprised. The person who built them is not very good at things. I said I'm sorry! You have to listen to me singing. Whatever. But yeah, I will have another video up soon. We only have less than a week until NaNoWriMo. Things are getting serious. You know, NaNoWriMo is serious business, and I still have not outlined my story. So I'm gonna start working on that. I hope you guys have a good night, and I'll have another video up soon. What is with the hand motions? Who knows? Bye! That's a normal hand motion. Bye! That's not a normal hand motion. Stop. Bye.